Hello, everybody. Welcome to Indigo Terra Odyssey. How is everybody? I thought I would use my animal spirit and crystal angel cards today. I love them so much. So let's start with Archangel Ezekiel, which is I am love. I align my consciousness with gentleness, compassion, and goodwill towards all. I am compassionate and kind. I am aligned with the healing powers of inner peace and kindness. I am able to help others by vibrating love through my presence, words, and actions. Now, I have this little thing that I do for myself. If I find myself being kind of triggered by ego or triggered by what about meanness or whatever it is where I feel like I'm not aligned completely with patience and love and honoring my highest vibrational self, I'll ask myself, would I want to hear this from this person? Would I want to be treated this way before I speak or before I act? It's one of those things too. Sometimes I have this weird impulse of I see somebody in the park and it's really hot, like I want to hold water out my window and be like, oh my God, are you thirsty? But I forget sometimes that people, they don't like to be seen as lacking or, like, what do I look like, some beggarly soul that you have to hold a window, water out your window to me? But it's one of those things that now I really think before I speak in terms of that. Like, I love the fact that as I get older, I have more of this. I definitely have more of this. I'm aligned with my consciousness of gentleness. Like, I don't need to be reactionary. I don't need to be short-tempered with anything. Even my cats, I remember years ago when I started this process, would jump all over the altars and splay the cards everywhere and just be bonkers and drive me hella crazy. And I'd be like, ah. And now I'm like, it just is what it is. And if I don't take that initial step to get impatient and get upset about things, I feel like I have more energy throughout the day because it's not expended in a unhelpful way. So before I respond to anything, I just take that deep breath and go, is this even going to be helpful? Is this going to be loving and caring and kind? And true, 100% of the time we can't always be like that. But if we can catch ourselves for that moment, it makes for such better relationships. It makes for much calmer energy. Who cares about all this crazy? Why get all like excitable about little things? Also, it's how we perceive things, and that may be incorrect. So if we take that little moment and we pause, we can assess, was this even intended to sound this way or be received this way? Because sometimes we receive things, if we're in the wrong headspace, the wrong way as well. So I'm going to have a quick sip of coffee, and then we're going to talk about this rabbit. And these cards are really cool because as I flip them over, they have a crystal or another saying on the other side. I have animal, and this is crystal spirit on the first one, and then this is the animal one. It just has all these beautiful insights, which I love. Okay, so when we get to the rabbit, and I love rabbits. When I grew up, I had so many rabbits. I had these French Lops, Rex and Regina, and they would growl like freaking dogs when they saw me with the food dish. And they would like get so excited about the food, they'd be like, dive into it. And nobody else wanted to feed them because they're like, Mel, that's your job. Because Rex and Regina, they're going to gnaw my arm off, I'm sure. They had that kind of look about them, but I love them. I love Belgian giants. They are the size of dogs. If I could, I would have a menagerie of every type of rabbit. I just love them. So in this card, it says, I pause and reflect on the patterns revealed to me. Different perspectives give me insight and understanding. It is easy for me to give birth to ideas. My creative endeavors come to fruition. I find balance with the cycles of life. Hallelujah. Let's talk about right now in New England, where I live, this particular cycle. I love summer. July is where I dial everything back. I don't do as many like big reads and soulmate reads and stuff due to the fact that July is kind of that beautiful, perfect weather for me where I can walk and be outside as much as possible. So I dial it back, and that's my summer cycle of, not full vacation mode because I love what I do and I want to continue to do it. I just want to do less of all types of things. So that sort of thing. But every day I do pause and reflect on what happened the day before and what can I learn from that? What kind of was an excess? What was a waste of my time? What was good use of my time? What made me feel really good? That's my favorite thing to do too. Like, what was a high moment and what precipitated that? And do I want to recapture that? A lot of times it can be in a creative endeavor. Sometimes it's just sitting in my backyard and watching the birds and these funny ideas that come to me. like, I get all these comedic musings when I sit alone in my backyard, because just observing nature is a pretty kind of like comedic event anyway. Who's chasing who and what are they doing, and the groundhog and the turkey and the cats, and I get all these musings, and I love that, and it's restful. So again, when I reflect on that, I'm like, wow, it gives me a beautiful perspective of what works for me and what garners energy and what kind of rehabilitates my soul and my energy, and to work towards that and do more of that. So ask yourself that, like, what did I do yesterday that helped me? So let's look at magenta dyed agate. Are you seeking unconditional love? You really want others to demonstrate the love they have for you. Show your love for others, and know you are well loved by many. Allow love. Be a receptacle for all that is love, and love your natural state. I love this too, because this talks about just be who you are, and you watch people show up and love you for your authentic self. Also, I feel like a great way to display unconditional love for relatives and other people is let go of the criticism, let go of the judgment. That is the first thing that will damage a relationship. I know people that causes them to be reaction. Well, I can't believe you did this, and look how you live your life, and look what you said, and look what you wear, and look how you look, at all of this craziness. Like, who cares? Let people be themselves. Love them unconditionally. And if you can, if you do see something amiss, you be a gorgeous diplomatic soul, and you can bring it to the forefront. But we don't need any accusatory finger pointed at us, nor should we do that to anybody else, because any reality show you've ever watched, why do all these big explosions happen? Because people talk about each other's back in a judgmental and critical way, or they say it to their face. Who are we to judge others? We don't walk that mile every day in their shoes. We don't know. There could be all kinds of things happening behind the scenes we don't know of. So if we are in some kind of bonded relationship with somebody and we do love them, let's let go of the critical finger pointing and all of that, and just show that. If we want to receive that, we do need to demonstrate it for sure. So let's look on the other side of the rabbit. So this says, do you see things from a different angle and observe what others may not notice? Are you fertile with great ideas? It's time to observe your surroundings with alertness and focus. Be aware of the cycles of life. Notice changes within the moon cycles. The movement of things around you does affect you, so be aware of all that's going on. Align yourself with the cyclical energy of life. And I love this, because this really talks about our potent times of the day. There are cycles where we are, we're physically stronger, we're mentally stronger, and use those cycles to enhance your day, to enhance your life. And also, I know there are certain things I want to do before my husband gets home. I like a little private time to study, meditate, do my readings, and just kind of gel with my own kind of vibe, right? But I know that I'm going to acclimate to a different energy when he comes home. He'll want to go to the gym together. He'll want to do all these other things, that sort of thing. But also to create time for other people and to welcome them in. I don't like to be so immersed in something that when he walks in the door, I'm like, hey, it's like I want to be there. Hey, what is going on? And be enthusiasm about them. Like, I just had a conversation with one of my offspring, Joni. Totally fabulous. Wanted to hear all about my weekend with Jeannie and my friends, and I love that. I love being able to relive that and share that, and the joy that that I was immersed in during that. So I feel like this is another thing, both of this talking about with unconditional love. Be an awesome listener. When somebody wants to share something with you, especially if they're excited about it, be 100% in. Ears screwed on tight, eyes fastened right on them if you're in the same room. Cheer them on, cheer on their joy, and let their bliss kind of expand and share. Let other people's bliss be yours too, because it can enhance our day. If we can live vicariously through somebody's fun adventure, why shouldn't we, right? Let it bring us up and make us feel really, really good. So I love that. And this last one, I just feel like it has a cooling presence. I love it. I recognize repetitive patterns and choose love, compassion, and kindness. And malachite is such a great stone for that. So let's look for that. We will see patterns in our life and what enhances our day, what enhances our mindset, what enhances our vigor and makes us feel good about ourselves. And let's repeat that and drop the rest, because life is too short to bring crap on board that we don't need, right? I always feel like, I equate it with wearing a rucksack and putting a stone in there every time you're mad or angry. There's so many freaking stones at the end of your week and month and year that you can hardly carry this thing. So dump it out and look at it. Check it all out. Is this stone necessary? I don't need to be carrying that. You always hear that what is that thing that's like a something stone around my neck? There's a specific stone that it's called, and we don't need that. What we need is to be light and free and feel like fresh day, fresh start. Here's a fresh avenue. What do I choose today that's going to bring me up and feel good? What creative endeavor? Who am I going to talk to? Who am I going to listen to? Invite in high vibrational people, places, and things, and you'll feel, oh yeah, the lightness, the love, the care, and the enthusiasm that is renewed for your day. So everybody, that is what you are meant to hear today. Thank you so much for checking in. And if you guys want a private read, sometimes I know that I forget to say it on my videos. All you need to do is come over to my IG. It's Sparkrist11, or I will put down in the description box where my email is too, and I get right back to you with your private reads within 48 hours. So it's a lot of fun. It's done just like this. I use all different, a whole myriad of cards. You can put several different topics. I'm especially plugged into right now ways to alter your existence in a really good way, because I feel like my guides are helping me. I've almost completely changed how I operate during the day to really enhance it with learning. Again, working within my own natural cycles to do things that enhance my day and make me feel good and don't deplete me. I recognize what those bummers are, and I just I navigate around them and I say, no, thank you. That could be just mentally torturing ourselves and overthinking things. Like, no matter how much we think of something, it is not going to change the outcome. So let's use that brain for thinking of best case scenarios, happy perspective, and all of that. And then it changes our mood, which means now we're operating in present moment awareness, and we can make the changes that we need when we need to, and we can put on the brakes if we start to get like egocentric about things, because we do have to consider that we are kind of a wonderful group, like group think, and let's think about others and have kindness. And if we have to alter our path a little bit to help somebody, in the end, it does make us feel better as well. So love and light, everybody.